Started with, we can. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. There we go. And we can start with tapping. We can tap the sternum, and you can use the tips of the fingers or the pads of the fingers, and we'll tap up and down the sternum, and we'll come right down the rib cage. Come back up to sternum again. Now we're going to take the hands like claw fingers, and we're going to go right down the middle of the head to the base of the skull. And then we're going to go along the crest of the head, and just from the temples, just above the ears. And then we'll do that again. Now we're going to tap the head lightly. And keep in mind, there's a lot of fascia across the back of the head, just above where the neck joins the skull. There's a lot of fascia there. And when you tap that and it starts to relax, that relaxation spreads through the fascia network right through the body. So it's good to give that a little extra attention. Now we're going to come down the back of the neck to the shoulders, and we're going to tap under the collarbone. You can use beak hands and tap under the collarbone. This is very good for the immune system, good for the sinuses. Now we're going to bring the elbows up and use the thumbs, and we're going to press in that hollow part underneath the collarbone. And if that's tender, don't shy away from it. If it's tender, give it a little extra attention. Usually tenderness is a sign that there's a little blockage there. And in Rochester this time of year, actually 3 out of 4 seasons, I think sinuses can have issues. So it's good to know about this spot here under the collarbone. I would take the index finger and slide it along the collarbone and right to the end. And we're going to drop down a little bit. And there's a hollow area just below the collarbone where the sternum is. And you can press on that. That's kidney 27. And that does a nice job of boosting the immune system. And it's good for the lungs and the sinuses. They have multiple uses. If you're not sure about that you're on that point, again, you can use beak hands and tap there. And if you're using all your fingertips, one of them will be on that point. You're good to go there. Okay. And we're spending a little extra time doing this for our immune systems. This is the time when we really want to take good care of that. Okay, now we're going to tap right across to the shoulder, and we're going to go down and give a little extra attention to the joints, the elbow, this, turn the hand over, the palm, inside of the wrist, inside of the elbow, back to the shoulder. Then we're going to go under the shoulder. And we'll go across the other side. Come down the arm. Give that elbow some good attention. Back the hand. Inside the wrist. And we'll come down the side again. Back to the sternum, down the sternum to the rib cage. And we'll go around the belt area to the kidneys, and we can gently rub the kidneys. You can rub the kidneys up and down. Got my hands going up and down the kidneys. You can also do a circular motion, turn with your hand, the beak to this part of the between the thumb and the forefinger. That's called the bird's mouth or the tiger's mouth. Then we're going to tap down the sides of the legs. Just go down as far as you're comfortable. Come up the inside of the legs. Back to the waist. And we'll go around to the kidneys again. And we'll go down the outside of the legs. And we'll do the kidneys one more time. And we'll tap the legs again. Now we're going to roll the shoulders. We're just going to move the arms in a nice circular way to loosen up the shoulders. Now we're going to move the arms the other way. Kind of roll the shoulders forward. We're going to begin the 8 Brocade. Now, with the 8 Brocade, we're going to do nice light stretching. We're going to bring the hands up. This is called supporting the heavens with both hands. And we're going to press down, sink down, come up. And we'll do one more. Now we're going to step out shoulders width with the stance or a little wider. This is the horse stance. And we want to sink the down just a little bit, just enough to engage the thigh muscles. The main thing we want to do is to tilt the pelvis to point the tailbone down to the floor. And that's very important to lengthen the lower part of the spine. We're going to take the left hand and we're going to draw the bow. So we're going to draw the bow, watch the hand as it extends out, and with the right hand, pull across and open up the ribs. Now we'll come back to center and we'll draw the bow to the other side. And we'll do one more. Come up. Now we're going to press towards heaven and earth. One hand up, the other pressing down lightly. And keep the elbow bent so you get a nice light stretch. We'll do one more. Now we're going to cross. We'll have the left hand in front of the right, and we're going to let the hands drop down and away and turn to the left. Look over the shoulder. Come back to center. Right over left. Turn to the right. Look over the shoulder. And as you turn, you don't want to turn the spine 100%. Just go 70%. Stop well within your comfort zone. Very good. Now we'll just press down lightly and we'll get ready for bending the trunk. Bending the trunk, we're back in the horse stance. And we're going to just lightly, we're going to stretch, and the stretch comes lightly up each side. So we'll be bending and stretching up the side. You just kind of let the head go. We're not trying to push this. We want to keep it nice and light. There's a book that was written years ago, not that many years ago, called The Body Keeps the Score. And with the pandemic, a lot of people are interested in it now because they're finding that that's very useful information. And we have another application of it here, which is instead of doing a great big stretch, the body remembers. Anytime the back has ever been hurt, the hips or the body remembers, it starts to tighten up. So we don't want to do that. We want to stay, again, a nice stance, and you just let the body go. And when you feel that stretch, you stop. Nice light stretch. Okay, now here we're going to fold at the qua, look between the legs. Come up. Now we're going to stretch the front of the spine and raise the chin. Do that again. Stretch lightly. The other side. Look between the legs. Come up. Raise the chin. We'll do that one more time. Now we'll do just the neck, we'll go ear to shoulder, and the other side. Now we're going to tuck the chin and raise the back of the head. And then we raise the chin again. Ear to shoulder, side, tuck the chin, raise the chin. One more. Now we're going to step back in. We're going to have the hands go down. We're going to reach toward the toes. Go down 70%. Hands go around the toes and come up the inside of the legs to the belt, to the grand meridian around the belt. Supporting the back, hands by the kidneys. I'm going to lightly arch the back. Raise the chin. Now we'll do that again. All this light stretching, we're going to do it one more time, is designed to relax the nerves and the fascia. It's not so much a muscle stretch, which feels great, but it's for the nerves and fascia. And that helps open up the acupuncture meridians. So this gets us ready for what comes next. I'm going to go to the horse stance one more time. Just sink down a little bit. We're going to make two loose fists, and we're going to turn to the left. And we're going to do a spiral punch twice. Come to center. Punch again. And to the right. Back around. This exercise is actually done with a very intense look. So the eyes are very intently focused. I don't think you can see that on this little screen. Some people really get into it. Good. Okay, good. Last one. This is called raising the heels to ward off all illness. Good for the immune system, lymphatic system. We're just going to come up and lightly drop on the heels. One more. Good. Now for the next one, we're going to go into the bow stance. I think you can see my feet pretty well here. In the bow stance, you've got one foot forward, the other's on an angle, but there's a space between the heels about the width of my hand. So if you look at your heels and you get that lined up, we're going to be shifting the weight forward and shifting back. Now, it's hard to see on this camera angle here, but my spine is staying erect, vertical here. And it's when you shift back, it's also staying erect. When that happens, you'll find interesting things start to happen. You're going to actually, when you push off the back leg, you can develop a sense that the energy is coming up into the arms. Okay, so we're going to start with the hands down by the hips, palms up, and we're going to shift forward and bring the hands up. Shift back, put the hands in the starting position, push with the leg, let the arms be driven forward by the leg. Here we go again. We'll do one more. I'll put the other foot forward. You don't have to turn right. Well, just have the other foot forward. I think you can see better if I'm like this, but we'll go with it. So we're going to shift the weight back and forth a couple times. Hands by the hips, and we'll begin. Hands come up. One more. Now, we're going to do 5-element standing Qigong, but I had an idea. Let me know what you think about this. We can start. This is a good time to take a break if you want to go be seated, or we can do a little extra standing Qigong and we'll do our 10 fingers exercises. Okay, so we can start with Brother Tick and his 10-finger massage. I've really enjoyed his videos. I like the things that he says while he's doing them. Yeah, they're very. Okay, now we'll do the wrists. Shake the hands a little bit. Okay, now we'll take the sides of the hands. Good. Okay, now the bird's mouth. This is this part of the hand here. Oh, yeah, you've got it. Yep. Now I notice as I do different hand motions that my standing changes. I can feel it. I have to make adjustments in my alignments to keep an upright posture doing this. Okay, now we'll do the fingers and this. And then we'll do fist to palm. You can do horizontal fist, vertical fist, whatever feels best. The the other hand. Now we'll do the backs of the hands. I'm going to rub the palms together and warm them up. And take the palms and press the palms to the eyes. And we'll do that again. Palms to the eyes. We'll take the 2 middle fingers and slide them on the bridge of the nose and press up. And we'll rub the palms together, warm them up one more time. Press palms to the eyes again. Press up on the eye socket, the upper part of the eye. And we're going to gently come along the rim around the eye socket to under the eye. I'm going to do the cheekbone. Press under the cheekbone a little bit and do some light tapping. Come right along the side of the nose, just lightly tapping there. Back up to the cheekbone, to the temples. We're going to lightly rub the temples. And we'll go in the other direction. Now we're going to wash the face. We're going to bring the hands from the eyes right back and down the neck. So going right to the back of the head and down the neck. Do that one more time. Okay. Now we're going to take the thumb and forefinger and massage the ears. Okay. And the last one, I want to take the one hand and support the back of the head, and then the fingers right in the middle of the forehead, and lift, kind of lift the back of the head and press in. So you're pressing in the forehead and lifting at the back. Okay. Now we're ready to start some standing Qigong. We'll have the feet on the floor, flat on the floor. There may be people watching the video. You can do this seated, but you want to keep the midriff open. If you're sitting in a chair, you don't want to lean back in the chair if you can help it. You want to be sitting with the spine upright. Standing, you have the feet flat on the floor. You can lock the knees and then unlock the knees. So you lock the knees, unlock the knees, and you're just kind of looking for a spot where you feel very comfortable with the knees slightly bent. And we soften the hips, point the tailbone down to the floor, just tilt the pelvis a little bit, not as much as we did in the horse stance, but a little pelvic tilt. And then we want to soften, relax the shoulders, let the shoulders round forward, just kind of naturally. Just kind of sink the chest a little bit and open up the top of the back. So you're doing two things. Chest is sinking and the back is opening up. Hands are just comfortably by your sides. You want to keep the armpits open a little bit. Some people are very comfortable standing like this. I tend to let my arms rest naturally at my sides with keeping the armpits open a little bit. And the last thing is to have the head floating on top of the neck. You want to feel like there's a string attached to the head, just lightly pulling you up. You can tuck the chin slightly. You want to relax the neck, shoulders, the head. And the last thing, the important thing, is to take the tip of the tongue and let it press lightly against the roof of the mouth. If you're saying the word let, that's where you let the tongue. Yep. And breathe naturally. Let your breath sink right down into your belly. Let your awareness go with it. Now we're going to bring the hands parallel and come up. Come right up the central channel and then back down and have the palms just below the navel, about the width of your head, away from the body. And you want the arms in a nice oval shape. Breathe naturally, smoothly. That was the earth element. Now we're going to bring the hands up the side channels again. The central channel, I'm sorry. And we're going to fold in a little bit. We're going to sink a little bit, and we're going to open up and close. Yeah, good. Soften the hands. Beware the palms. That one more time. This is the metal element. Then we're going to have hands come back to earth. We want the fingers nice and relaxed. We want to line up the middle fingers. Palms facing the belly. The water element, we're just going to sink down. So we're going to sink down, keeping the back more or less upright. Let's sink down again. Come up, lift the head. Sink down one more time. Come up. And now we're going to have the hands come up. It's the water element. It's good for the kidneys. This is the winter season for the kidneys. So we're going to double up on that, give the kidneys a little extra help. Down, up again, sink down, up. Hands come up the central channel, back to earth. Now we're going to turn the palms. We're going to bring the hands up between the collarbone and the shoulder height, somewhere in there. Come back down. Again. Do that one more time. Hands come up. Back to earth. Now we're going to bring the hands slightly over to the side channel. Now we're going to be working on this channel here. Palms, you want to be aware of the palms, softening. I'm going to open vertically and close. Come up again. Shift over to the other side. Same thing, soften the palms, bring the hands up. And we'll have the hands come up again. And back to earth. We come back to the starting position. We want to stay in this nice calm state. We're going to step out a little wider than shoulder width, maybe a shoulder and a half. And we're going to do cloud hands. Cloud hands, the hands are moving nice. We're going to work on smoothness today. The hands are coming up and down the central channel. Nice and smoothly. Posture, again, you've got your hips relaxed, knees bent just a little bit, tailbone pointing to the floor. When you shift, you want to be aware of your tailbone pointing from one ankle to the other. So we're pointing at this ankle. Now we're pointing toward this one. I'm going to keep the body upright. Okay. So the body's upright. And the next thing we're going to work on is turning. We're going to do a hip turn. It's also called a quad turn. The quad turn, you keep the shoulders and the hips lined up. So it's like you're holding a piece of cardboard here. You're not twisting it, not twisting the spine. So the knee has to move in order for the spine not to twist. The knee has to move. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on the knees. You want to just have it can be a small turn. And then the next thing we do is we combine that shift with the turn, and we shift to the other side and turn. So we're shifting and turning. Now the hands are starting here again. The palm centers are lined up just below the navel. And when you shift, the first thing you do is press down and turn. Shift, press down and turn to the other side. Shifting and turning, pressing down, shift and turn, press down. The other hand just floats up. So now this hand, as you shift and turn, presses down, the other hand floats up. Again, right up the central channel. And we'll do one more. Now we're going to go into the first Taoist arm swing. This is where you want the arms to feel really loose, just dangling. And when you turn the body, the arms are just kind of following along. So you can shift the weight and turn. That gives the arms a little bit more momentum. But you want to keep the spine vertical. Again, this camera angles, I haven't figured it out yet. It looks like I'm a little off kilter. But it's really, if you want to focus on that 70% turn and letting the arms and shoulders be nice and loose. Spine perpendicular to the floor. And we'll do one more. Now we're going to do a Heaven and Earth Qigong. And I think that will work best from the side. I think you can see what I'm doing here, a little bending. The neck, this is going on in the neck. The neck is curving and the hips are doing the same thing. So the hips are moving forward and the chin is also. So this is putting the spine into a C curve. It's funny, I can't look at myself and do it at the same time. So I hope it looks good. I really can't tell from this angle, but that's the idea. The hands come forward, and when the elbows come past the body, you want to let the shoulders move forward from the spine. So the shoulders move away from the spine. There's a light stretch between the shoulder blades, and you want to hold that stretch. Bring the arms up, and now you bring the hands around and touch the base of the skull. Bring the elbows forward, hands come forward. Now we're rounding into that C shape. Pelvis is moving, neck is lifting and looking forward, and you're in the deepest part of it right here. Now the hands go down and lift up and relax. Second part of the move, you bring the elbows forward, and this is a little deeper, but still very gently go into this curve. Bending the spine and then come back up. And again, this is less is more. Nice, light stretch here. Bring the elbows forward. Now the elbows move out, hands are in front of the face. Look down. Press down, come up. And then relax. Now hands move. Elbows forward. We'll do that one more time. Now for Dragon Tiger, you both been working for a while. We're going to bring the hands, the palms forward and back. We're going to shift the weight forward to the toes. Let the weight sink back to the heels. So we're shifting forward, shifting back. Shifting forward, shifting back. Now, there's a very interesting way to do this, and that is to start with the feet. We're going to do this Dragon Tiger 1, but we're going to start with the feet, and we're going to start by sinking into one heel. So when you sink into that heel, you want to just do that a few times, sinking from side into the heel, and you'll notice that your body tends to move from side to side. That's just, you can't help it. When you're learning this, that's what's going to happen. But the next step in this is you're sinking into the heel, and then you bring the knee forward. So if the knee comes forward before the heel comes up, That'll stop the rocking, a lot of the rocking back and forth. So you're sinking into the heel and bringing the knee forward. Sink again into the heel, bring the knee forward. And this, you just literally just play around with it. You want to get into a nice, smooth, rhythmic moving here. But what's really happening is you're pumping. When your energy drops into the heel, it makes room for the energy to rise on the other side. So you're sinking on one side and the energy is just naturally rising on the other side. But the sinking is what starts the process. So there's your sinking and rising, okay? Hand motions. We're going to start, I'm going to show you this just very briefly. This really helps you track what you're doing. Just reach down with one hand as far as you can towards the ankle, and we're going to tap, we're going to pat along the energy meridians. We're just going to tap lightly. We're going to tap right, we're going to be pulling the energy up the leg to the quad. The quad is right where the thigh meets the torso. It's right in the inguinal fold. It's pretty much below the ear. So you go from the quad here. We're going to come up to the shoulder's nest. Shoulder's nest is that hollow area there. So we're going to connect to that. Then we're going to go back down to the quad and to the side of the hip. Tap down. And the energy then goes into the foot, into the floor, comes around, up the other side, back to the quad, up to the shoulder's nest. Back down to the quad again, side of the hip. That's how it goes. Same thing on the other side. Just we're pulling the energy up inside of the leg to the quad, from the quad up to the shoulder's nest, just below the ear, back down to the quad, to the side of the hip. Around the foot, back up again. Okay, that actually, when you start doing these hand motions, now you want to have your palms be nice and soft, warmed up. You want to be aware of your palm centers. I'm going to move the palm centers up and down the side channels. And this time, and when we do this, we keep the palms facing the body to start. You want to feel like there's a magnetic force moving up and down your body. Okay? And it helps to bring the elbows forward a little bit. That opens up the armpits and you can feel it a little better. Okay. One of the key parts of this exercise is learning to sense those energy channels. Okay. So we're doing hand motions and we're doing this foot stuff, but it's this part, being aware of the energy that's moving up and down here, being aware of your hands moving through there. That's what we're working at here. Okay. So we're going to work. We're going to bring the hand. Now we're going to turn the palm. The exercise actually starts with the palm by the side of the hip, and you go around the foot. Okay, around the foot, and you pull. You're pulling right through the inguinal fold here, right through the groin, right to the quad, up, shoulders nest, turn, and press down lightly, off to the side. Pull again into the quad. It's like you're lifting a handful of air and then you press down lightly. Same thing with the other hand. Hand facing the side of the hip, around the toe, pull up. Your awareness, your attention is pulling from the floor right up to the quad. Then you have your hand upright, lifting that air, pressing down again. Hand goes to the side, around the toe, connecting to the quad, up to the shoulder's nest, and back down. Now, when the hand comes up, the heel comes up on the same side. So you can practice that a few times. Just practice. Heel comes up, heel comes down. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Hand comes up, heel comes up. And you can work on the timing for that a little bit. The book will give you some pointers on how to time that. But for now, you want to do this exercise close enough. Almost is very good in this case. You don't have to try and do it perfectly. If you're trying to make it perfect and you don't want to get fussed on the details. So let's begin. Hand go down, come up. And now when we press down into the heel, we come up with the other hand and up with the other foot. And again, we're pressing down, sinking into the heel, coming up on the toe. And this is called the Qi balancing exercise. When we did cloud hands, we got the Qi moving between the upper and lower half of the body. And now we're balancing the Qi. We're balancing the Qi between the legs, and we're also balancing the Qi between the legs and the torso. And we'll do one more. Now we'll do 4 and 5. We'll move right along with those. This is 4 and 5 where we move the shoulders, move the shoulder in, the shoulder blade toward the spine, and that pushes the other shoulder blade out. Then the other shoulder blade pushes in, and the other one goes out. I like to feel my elbows weighted. I feel like if my elbows feel like they're kind of pulling the shoulder, it helps. And if they're pushing the shoulder in, and main thing to do is to keep the shoulders relaxed. If you can keep your shoulders relaxed and just move the shoulder blades a little bit from side, that's very, very good. Way better than hunching the shoulders up and trying to get some big movement in there. You want to keep the shoulders relaxed. It's a very small movement. And this opens energy gates located between the shoulder blades and the spine, right behind the heart. And so this is the opening the heart exercise. Bring the hands up to side channels. Hands go out to the side, and we just have the beak hands pull. We just kind of come in toward the chest, toward the heart. The other hand turns, and there's a gentle release. Okay, that's a funny camera angle, but I think you get the idea. Okay. It is. It looks like my hand's going up or something. It's not. It's going out level and just open. Actually, that looks nice. The opening looks good. So we'll go with that. That's the best my hands have ever looked doing that. Okay, here we go. Now we'll begin. Hands come up the side channels, out to the side. We gather in. Now the eyes watch the hand that's releasing. Now we'll do the same thing, other side. Watch the hand that releases. So we're bringing good things to the heart. We're letting go things that we want to let go of. The eyes are soft. Very good exercise for opening the heart and letting things go. And shift the weight from side to side, and you can bring the heel up. When you're comfortable with this, you can bring the heel up. So if you're releasing with left side, the heel comes up on the right. So So it's the opposite foot. There you are, release. Heel comes up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Try to get the shoulders to move toward the spine. Way. And we'll do one more. Come back to center. Now we're just going to have the hands go around the belt. We're going to start with the palms just below the navel. We're going to make a connection to a point right on the spine, just below the navel on the spine. So we're connecting from the front. If your hands comfortably go back, you can touch there. My hands don't go, my shoulders aren't that loose yet, so I complete that with my intention. Pull back around, now come up with the hands and lightly pulse. That little delay on the Zoom camera, I tell you what, we are looking good on that pounce. That looks great. There's some benefits to this technology. And we'll do one more. Now we want to do a nice closing. Getting ready. This is the last one. Bring the hands down. Come up. Down again. Do one more. And that's it. We're done. That was very nice. Thank you for your time and attention. And if you have any questions, I think they'll stop recording and then I can see how we're doing here. Get your comments.